Stop telling yourself someday. Someday isn't real. Someday is an excuse disguised as a plan. Your dreams are sitting on pause, not because you can't have them, but because you keep waiting for the perfect moment that will never come. The truth is, you don't need more time. You need to start now. Let's get real for a second. You've been thinking, planning, overthinking, and planning again. You've been waiting for motivation, waiting for clarity, waiting for things to feel easier or make more sense. But deep down, you already know what you want. You already know what needs to be done. You're just scared to begin. You keep convincing yourself that you'll start when you're ready. But here's the hard truth: you'll never feel ready. No one ever feels ready to make a big change. No one wakes up with a sudden surge of confidence, a roadmap to success, and a guarantee that it'll all work out. That's not how growth works. Readiness doesn't come before action. It comes after it. You build courage by acting without it. You become confident by doing the very thing that scares you. You become strong by showing up when you least feel like it. We waste so much time waiting for permission from people, from the universe, from ourselves. But no one's coming to tap you on the shoulder and say, "Okay, now's the right time." That's your job. You're the one who decides when it's time to change, and that moment can be now. Because the clock is ticking, and every second you spend waiting is another second you could have spent becoming. The life you want isn't waiting for you. It's waiting on you. The only way to bridge the gap between who you are and who you want to be is through action. Not thinking, not planning, not wishing. Doing. Action creates momentum, momentum builds discipline, and discipline creates transformation. You don't need a miracle, you need movement. So stop saying "Onde." Stop believing that your circumstances will magically align. Start becoming the person who acts despite uncertainty, despite fear, despite imperfection. Because becoming isn't something that happens to you. It's something you choose to do every single day. You will never feel ready. That's the first truth you have to accept if you want to change your life. The idea that one day you'll wake up feeling fully confident, perfectly prepared, and free of fear is a lie. That day doesn't exist. Waiting to feel ready is one of the biggest traps that keeps people stuck in the same place year after year. You convince yourself that when things settle down, when you have more time, when you're less busy, or when you feel more certain, then you'll start. But that time never comes. Because readiness isn't something that arrives before you take action. It's something that's created by taking action. Every person who's ever built something meaningful, every success story you admire, began the same way: uncertain, scared, and unprepared. They didn't start because they were ready. They started because they were tired of waiting. Readiness is not a feeling. It's a decision. The moment you decide to stop hesitating and take the first step, that's when the shift happens. You begin to realize that confidence doesn't appear before action. It grows because of it. You learn by doing, not by waiting. The first step will always feel the hardest because it's the moment you leave behind the illusion of safety. But that discomfort you feel when you start, that's not a sign you're not ready. It's proof that you're growing. Think about it. Everything meaningful in your life started before you felt ready. The first job, the first move, the first time you spoke up, the first time you took a risk. You were scared then, too, but you did it anyway. And that's what made it powerful. Growth never feels comfortable at the beginning because it's stretching you beyond who you've been. But that stretch is necessary if you want to become who you're meant to be. You can't think your way into confidence. You have to act your way into it. Fear disguises itself as preparation. It tells you that you just need to plan a little more, learn a little more, think it through a little longer. But what it's really doing is keeping you safe. Not successful, just safe. Safe is predictable, but predictable never changes your life. The moment you stop waiting for fear to disappear, you take back control. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward while fear follows behind. You don't need a full plan. You don't need the perfect timing. You just need to take one small step. Start with what you have, where you are, and do the next right thing. Once you move, momentum builds, and that momentum becomes the proof your brain needs to see that you can handle it. That's how you rewire your mindset. Through action, not waiting. The truth is, readiness doesn't come knocking on your door one morning. You build it. You earn it. And it begins the moment you stop waiting and start becoming. We often underestimate the power of small actions because we've been conditioned to believe that big results require big moves. We imagine transformation as something dramatic, a complete overhaul, an overnight success, a giant leap forward. But real change rarely looks that way. The truth is, success is built in small, quiet moments that no one sees. It's formed in the habits you repeat when no one's watching, in the decisions you make every single day that seem insignificant but slowly shift everything. Those small steps might not feel like much in the moment, but they compound over time into something extraordinary. When you take small, consistent steps, you're training yourself to keep moving forward even when things don't feel exciting. You're building discipline, confidence, and momentum, the real ingredients of transformation. The mind loves instant results, but growth doesn't work that way. You don't see the results after a single workout, one new habit, or one brave decision. You see them after showing up again and again, even when progress feels invisible. Every tiny step is a deposit into your future. Every act of consistency is a promise you keep to yourself. And that's how you rebuild self-trust, by proving through action that you follow through. Small steps also protect you from the trap of overwhelm. When you focus on the whole mountain, it feels impossible to climb. But when you focus on the next step, it becomes manageable. You don't need to know how the entire journey will unfold. You just need to move one foot forward. That's the secret to progress. You don't have to change your entire life today. You just have to take one action that aligns with the person you want to become. Whether that means waking up 10 minutes earlier, journaling your thoughts, sending one email, or taking one walk, every small act builds momentum. And here's the magic of small steps: they create evidence. When you take consistent action, your brain starts to believe that change is possible. You stop identifying with your past and start identifying with your potential. Each step reinforces the story that you are capable, resilient, and in control. It's not about speed, it's about consistency, because consistency compounds. The more you show up, the stronger you get, mentally, emotionally, and physically. The reason so many people never change is because they underestimate how much small progress matters. They quit too soon because they can't see results yet. But growth is invisible before it's obvious. The roots grow before the tree appears. The process works in silence before it shows in public. Every small step you take is creating that invisible foundation. It's building strength, clarity, and momentum beneath the surface. So stop waiting for the massive breakthrough. Focus on the daily steps that move you forward. Because one day, all those small actions will add up to the big life you've been dreaming about. And you'll realize it wasn't a giant leap that changed everything. It was your decision to keep taking small, consistent steps. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are temporary. You can't rely on something that fluctuates with your mood, your energy, or your circumstances. Some days you wake up inspired and ready to conquer everything, and other days you can barely get yourself out of bed. That's normal. But if you only act when you feel motivated, you'll never build anything lasting. Motivation might start the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. Discipline is what shows up after motivation fades. It's the voice that says, do it anyway, when your mind starts making excuses. It's the commitment to your goals that doesn't depend on how you feel in the moment. Discipline is the bridge between your intentions and your results. It's what transforms "I want to" into "I did." The people who succeed aren't more talented or lucky than everyone else. They're simply consistent. They've trained themselves to take action whether they feel like it or not. They've made the decision that their dreams matter more than their comfort. And that's what separates those who make progress from those who stay stuck. When you rely on motivation, you give your power to your emotions. When you rely on discipline, you take that power back. Think of discipline as a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. At first, it's uncomfortable. You'll want to give up. You'll tell yourself, just this once, it's okay to skip it. But that's the moment that defines everything. Because every time you push through that resistance, you teach your brain that your word means something. You prove to yourself that you can be trusted to follow through. And when you start to trust yourself, you stop waiting for external validation. You stop seeking permission. You start building unstoppable momentum. Discipline also gives you freedom, real freedom. Because when you're disciplined, you're no longer controlled by impulses or distractions. You know what you need to do, and you just do it. You stop wasting energy negotiating with yourself every morning about whether you'll show up. You simply decide once and commit fully. That's how you remove the emotional noise that keeps most people stuck in cycles of inconsistency. Discipline makes your decisions automatic, freeing your mind to focus on creating, improving, and growing. There will be days when everything feels like a struggle, when progress seems slow, when you question if it's even worth it. Those are the days that build your character. Those are the moments that shape your future. Because discipline isn't glamorous, it's not about hyper-inspiration, it's about doing the boring, uncomfortable, repetitive work that no one sees. But that makes all the difference. Over time, it becomes part of who you are. You stop fighting with yourself and start living in alignment with your goals. That's the power of discipline. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about showing up, especially when you don't feel like it, and proving to yourself that your dreams are worth the effort every single day. Excuses are the clever stories we tell ourselves to justify staying comfortable. They sound logical, even reasonable, but deep down we know they're lies that keep us small. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I'll start when things calm down. It's not the right moment. These phrases feel safe, but they steal your potential one day at a time. The truth is, you will always have reasons not to start. There will always be obstacles, uncertainty, and imperfect conditions. The people who grow aren't the ones with fewer excuses. They're the ones who stop believing them. Because every excuse you accept is another wall you build between where you are and where you could be. When you strip away excuses, what's left is accountability. And accountability is uncomfortable because it means you can no longer hide behind circumstances or blame. It means admitting that your life is a reflection of your choices. Not your parents, not your boss, not the economy. You. The moment you take ownership, everything changes. You begin to see that your excuses don't protect you. They imprison you. They keep you trapped in the same patterns, living the same day over and over, wishing for something different while doing nothing different. Excuses give you permission to stay still. They trick you into thinking that waiting is progress, but waiting is just fear in disguise. You tell yourself you're thinking things through or getting ready, but what you're really doing is avoiding failure. You don't want to take the risk of trying and falling short, so you make it sound rational by saying, I'm just not ready yet. But the truth is, you don't need more time, you need more courage. You don't need things to be perfect. You need to start where you are and adjust as you go. Every time you make an excuse, you give your power away to something external. You hand control of your life to your fears, your environment, or your emotions. And as long as you keep doing that, you'll stay stuck. But the moment you stop making excuses, you reclaim that power. You start asking better questions. Instead of saying, I can't, you start asking, how can I? That tiny shift changes everything because it moves you from a place of helplessness to one of action. Suddenly, you're not blocked. You're building solutions. Excuses will always be there, whispering the easy way out. But so will opportunity. Every time you choose to ignore an excuse, you strengthen your commitment to your growth. You train your mind to look past limitations and focus on possibilities. And that's how transformation happens, not through motivation or luck, but through responsibility. Every time you silence an excuse and take even one small step forward, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you believed. Growth doesn't come from perfect timing. It comes from refusing to let your excuses win. Becoming who you're meant to be is not a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment. Growth isn't about massive leaps, it's about consistent steps. You don't wake up one morning transformed, you evolve quietly through hundreds of small choices made when no one's watching. Every day presents a fork in the road. Do you stay the same or do you move 1 inch closer to the person you want to become? And most days that choice looks simple. Get up when the alarm rings or hit snooze, speak up or stay silent, take the chance or let it pass. The smallest decisions hold the biggest power because they build your habits and your habits shape your future. Consistency is the bridge between intention and transformation. You can dream all you want, plan all you want, but without consistent action, nothing changes. The challenge is consistency isn't exciting. It's repetitive. It's waking up early when you don't feel like it, showing up when no one's cheering, doing the work when results aren't visible. Most people quit not because they lack potential, but because they lose patience. They expect quick results in a world that rewards instant gratification, and when they don't see progress fast enough, they assume it's not working. But real growth is invisible at first. It happens beneath the surface. The roots grow long before the tree appears. The secret is to fall in love with the process, not just the outcome, because the process is where you build resilience, discipline, and confidence. Every repetition strengthens your belief that you can do hard things. Every time you push through discomfort, you build evidence that you're capable of more than you thought. And soon, what once felt impossible becomes your new normal. That's the beauty of small, consistent effort. It compounds. The same way drops of water carve stone, your daily choices shape your identity. You have to understand that consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about staying committed even after you mess up. You'll have off days, moments of doubt, and setbacks. That's part of the journey. The key is not to let one bad day turn into a bad week. You don't need to start over every time you fall, you just need to keep going. Progress is not linear. Some days it's a sprint, some days it's a crawl, but forward is forward. The people who transform their lives aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who keep showing up after every failure. When you make consistency your standard, success becomes inevitable. Because while motivation fades, consistency builds momentum. It turns your goals into your reality. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers. So don't wait for the perfect plan, the perfect day, or the perfect version of yourself. Start where you are, do what you can, and keep doing it. Over time, those small, disciplined actions will become unstoppable progress. The power to transform your life lies not in intensity, but in persistence and choosing every single day to keep becoming. At the end of the day, everything comes down to one truth. No one is coming to do the work for you. No one is coming to push you, motivate you, or make you believe in yourself. It's all on you. And that's not something to fear. That's something to be excited about. Because the moment you realize your life is entirely in your hands, you take your power back. You stop waiting for the perfect timing, the right person, or a lucky break. You start creating your own momentum. Every great transformation starts with one decision. The decision to stop waiting and start becoming. You have everything you need to build the life you want. You have strength, potential, and purpose inside of you, but it's locked behind action. You can either let life happen to you, or you can step up and make life happen for you. The difference between the person you are and the person you want to be is the courage to take that next step. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's uncertain. So today, choose to begin. Don't wait until you feel ready because readiness is a myth. Start scared, start small, start messy, but just start. Each action you take moves you closer to your goals, to your peace, to your power. And remember, growth doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. It's in the quiet moments when you choose discipline over distraction, effort over excuses, and faith over fear. That's where real change happens. You are capable of so much more than you think. You've already survived every hard day you thought would break you. Imagine what else you can do when you finally decide to rise, not react. Your past doesn't define you, your decisions today do. So move forward with intention, with strength, and with belief that you can build something extraordinary. One choice, one step, one day at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope this message reminds you of your own power, that spark inside you that's been waiting to be reignited. Don't let this moment pass you by. Take what you've heard today and use it. Apply it. Live it. You owe it to yourself to see what happens when you don't give up. Until next time, keep going, keep growing, and keep becoming the person you were meant to be. You've got this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up. And remember, your transformation begins the moment you decide it's time.